like it all the time.
Cancel culture.
The cancel culture, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Nikki Haley.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Haley calls for a competency test for older people running for president. GOP nominee hopeful Nikki Haley on Sunday again advocated for term limits and mental competency tests for politicians over the age of 75. I don't agree with her.
I don't think that there should be a specific age.
You should do it for everybody.
Everybody and their mama who's in the Senate.
Kemosabe, he's stupid.
Kemosabe.
Rashama Mamuma, he's stupid.
Kemosabe.
And I'm going to keep making fun of his name. So I have to say this over and over again.
As a disclaimer.
Because he doesn't believe that white supremacy exists.
Right.
He believes it's a unicorn.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Unicorn, your last name is Kumatama.
But I don't know.
There should be one for him too.
That they had mentioned that on The View today when you asked what they talked about today.
Right.
That was the main thing. Because people and Alyssa had a good point.
What?
She was saying a lot of the millenniums and the young people, millennials and the young people, we know that as some older people have more experience, wisdom.
Yes.
And I think there's maybe Florida. I think Anna brought it up. DeSantis may have put this in place. I don't know. That there is an age, once you reach a certain age or time frame, you're out of there. And she was not liking that because some people who are very good and wise and still got good ideals to help move the country along, they shouldn't be kicked out because they're 6 years up.
I agree. I think not age, but I agree with disagree with her on that. I disagree. Yeah. Term limits for sure.
Term limits.
I disagree.
But not age.
Age, I disagree with. Term limits, I agree with. I don't think you should be in office for 30, 40 years. Because for me, in my personal opinion, some new blood needs to get up in there.
And that's the problem that she's saying. The new blood that's coming in, they're ignorant. They don't know nothing. Yeah. You got Vivek who's running for commander-in-chief. He don't even have foreign policy background. Yeah, well, he's not political.
Yeah, but you don't want somebody...
I don't want you in office because you're young.
But you don't want somebody in there that's stagnant either.
Well, I'm just saying, the term thing, that's a good debate. So I don't know.
So she says, I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. The former UN ambassador told host Robert Costa on CBS, Face the Nation. She was talking about minority senator leader Mitch McConnell, who and Dianne Feinstein, Democrat.
Yeah.
And Nancy Pelosi, when she got off, as an example. At what point do they get it's time to leave? And I think they lied on McConnell. They talking about they took him back and got re-examined, and there's nothing wrong with him. So everybody just stands at the podium and doesn't say anything.
One of the politicians, a Republican, he said that that's not true. He said, I have medical background. As far as a medical profession, he said, call it what it is. I said, if it's a result from a stroke or anything that's dealing with his mind and how he thinks, we need to put that out there.
They said they tested him and there's nothing wrong with him. They think that the American people are stupid. They ask, how many times have you gone to a doctor and a doctor said there's nothing wrong with you? And you have to say, I got to get a fifth, sixth opinion. There's obviously something wrong with me.
Well, you know what? There was an episode. I'm not trying to be funny because TV can still portray realism with the theme that's going on in that show. On the Golden Girls, Dorothy was having some issues.
Oh yeah, you told me.
And her doctors were saying that there was nothing wrong with her. They would test her until she got to a specialist.
Thank you.
Who figured it out. There's anxiety or something that was going on with her, which made this happen. It was like a domino effect.
Yes.
So maybe he's having a memory problem.
Whatever
he has to think on his feet.
Whatever he is having, the answer is not to come back to the American people and say there's nothing wrong with him.
Right.
We've watched him on 2 occasions stand at the podium and not say anything. Are we going to go for a 3rd occasion and then somebody's going to go up to the microphone and say, just so you guys know, there's nothing wrong with him?
Because you would think if he was gathering his thoughts, he would have still been saying something. Well, you know what? Let me think about this. Let's see. Hold on. I want to figure this. You would think because he's still talking, he's trying to gather his thoughts. But he was totally silent.
He was silent. This reminds me, I watched a video on TikTok. Muhammad Ali. Okay. So you remember when he was kind of not saying nothing. Mm-hmm. And his wife was there and he was there and he was at the dinner with the guy that used to be on 60 Minutes, the black guy, Ed. Okay, with the earring and all that.
Oh, okay.
And he was sitting next to him and his wife was sitting next to all of this. And the people was at the table and he was interviewing Muhammad Ali. And all of a sudden, Muhammad Ali stopped and he had his head down like this. And he was just like this.
His eyes were closed.
And his wife said, relax. This happens all the time. We're used to it. And Ed was asking questions. He said, so he does this a lot with what's going on? And she said, yes. And she said, when we go to bed at night, a lot of times I have to move away from him because he'll start thinking he's back in his fighting days.
You're kidding.
And I don't want him to hit me. So she said, I'll move away from him. But I've learned, she said, over the years to know when to move away and all this. So then while he was sitting there, Muhammad Ali went like this. And Ed, right next to Ed. And Ed was like, oh, no. Because he's still Muhammad Ali. You don't want to get punched
like
by
Mike Tyson going. That punch.
And she said, now just.
Could knock you out.
Right. So he went like this. And Ed went, whoa, okay. All right. And then she goes, don't worry. If he starts really punching, it gets bad. And then he started standing up like he was going to punch him. And it was like, oh! And then Muhammad Ali started laughing. He was playing.
But the wife still
She was playing. They was in on it.
You're
and
kidding.
Ed was like, oh. He said, you still got your sense of humor.
Because I never saw him do that.
Even though he was locked inside that thing, he still had his sense of humor.
Oh,
he started laughing.
Man.
He started laughing.
That's funny.
So I say all of that to say, unless Mitch McConnell is Muhammad Ali,
do all that. He really froze.
And he's pretending to do all of this for some reason.
No, because you even see once he got his stuff together, it was like he was going. It almost like he would have continued.
Thank you.
So we just need to know if there's something going on with his memory or early dementia or something.
Catilia says, Wendy M says, hey ladies. Hey. Wendy's laughing. Catilia says, hi ladies and mom, I'm a bit late today. No problem.
Okay.
And Kiki says, looks like he's having seizures.
Yeah.
He might be having something like a seizure.
But they need
to come back and say something is wrong with him.
But what they talked about on The View today, and Alyssa brought up a good point. She said, yes, we want to see, she said there's a large percentage of people, Democratic and Republican, who are concerned about Biden and his age.
He keep following.
And she threw in Trump too. Trump is 3 years younger.
Let me tell you about Trump today. He went off today on a show. I think he's losing his mind.
You think so?
The host asked him, and it's a conservative host, if they ask you if you had help moving the boxes on stand, what are you gonna say? He said, you're not gonna get me in one of those catchy so you can make headlines. He says, if I'm not gonna answer that. But if I did, I have every right to. Because I have executive order and all this other stuff, which is not even true.
Right.
But if I did, so he's given all this evidence for Fannie and the FBI
to gather.
Mm-hmm. He keeps saying, I have the right to. Mm-hmm. Read it. It's in my thing that says I have the right. No, you don't. But he keeps thinking he does. He thinks he does. And then the man said, well, if you get on the stand, what are you going to say or something? And he's going to say, I'm going to say that they were wrong about Russia. Russia. And then they're wrong about this. He's crazy.
They're not talking about Russia anymore. They already know.
But to keep saying Russia. So you think if you get on the stand, they're gonna let you just get up there and say Russia. He said, the guy who was doing the commentary said, first of all, they're not even going to let you on the stand. No lawyer in his right mind will put you on the stand.
Right.
But they were saying he's getting worse. He's doing sound bites It's like all of his language is sound bites now.
Like Giuliani as well.
Giuliani's acting crazy too.
So the mental level, and the thing with Nikki Haley, I understand what she's saying, but the ladies at The View, they use Fetterman as an example.
Okay.
Fetterman's been transparent with,
how has he been?
He's not 80 years old.
But how has he been though?
I don't know. I'm thinking they haven't been complaining and whatever. So the thing is, the point they were making is don't always jump to the 80-year-old, the 75-year-old, because there are people, if you can do the job, Alyssa says, I don't care how old you are. If you fit the qualifications and you can continue being our commander in chief.
But I do like term limits though.
I don't know.
Speaking on mental competency, Haley said they should be basic tests with questions anyone could answer. The GOP candidate said that those running for office should also provide notes from their doctors on mental capacity. Yeah. The American people are saying it is time to go. If they would approve term limits, the American people would show that, Haley said. But until then, they've got to know that, look, we appreciate your service, but it's time to step away. And I agree with her.
So if you have the term put in place, the time frame, they don't have to, you don't have to fight for them to step away. They serve their time.
And it's time to
said,
go.
I'm not the Supreme Court judges.
I agree.
They need a time.
They go forever. And I don't think that that's right.
Right. Maybe 10 years or
I don't
15.
know.
They'll figure it out.
Not forever.
Not forever. Not until they die.
Exactly.
And that's not right.
All right.
Okay.
Kourtney Kardashian. Okay. Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker speak out following an urgent feed